This video is a test, not of any meaningful data such as age, IQ,
Is it a deer?
location, or circumference, but of how well a video can do when the script resembles an incoherent mess that more aligns to three schizophrenic personalities all typing on the same Google Doc at the same time. And while the Marvel rival players continue pogging and soyjacking, saying, "He's just like Moon Knight," I would like to bring us back out of the virtual realm and realize that if you chuckled at any point in that intro, then I'll see you in the fiery gates below. Because schizophrenia is no laughing matter. That is, unless I'm your alter ego. Path of Exile 2 is a commercial success, but despite its player base peaking far above anything that furry shades of gay could ever dream of, the game has been receiving some less than ideal comments recently. There are a large amount of people who claim that the game has gotten very stale, and no matter how many times they make the same character, it simply does not bring them the same joy that it used to. The mapping system has many detractors, and the inflation that the game has seen due to exploits being exploited and not really ever fixed has created a very obnoxious environment for new players, where trade has become far more of players shouting into the void than an actual conversation, which has made Tinder look 10 times better, since at least there was hope of making an exchange to begin with. But the haters were swiftly silenced when the trailer for the new patch 0.2 released and the bombshell that was the new content was announced. We got a new class that the Gooners will love, new ascendancies and skills for the automatons who call themselves minion players, and a completely fresh meme sound when Ziz found recombinators were coming back.
Recombination. Each position was the only...
Most important of all these system changes was the announcement that there would finally be an economy reset for those that wanted to opt into it. Many of us will finally get to experience what PoE 2 is like when we are not given everybody's sloppy seconds. That being said, PoE 2 has gathered a huge player base, many of who are new ARPG players, so we have a collection of people who have never experienced a true league start. So it's time to milk a video topic that I've already done, and make a video on a topic that isn't growing mold, completing the Lord Ivan bingo chart once and for all. Let's get started in preparing for the new league. Choosing a build is like choosing your favorite child. You have to make it look like a hard decision, but we really all know what you're gonna go with. Just like in PoE 1, there are some safety builds that people are aware work, and the community has mostly cracked how to effectively build and scale it. But with the release of a new character along with 3 ascendancies, you also have the option of taking a risk on a build that has only ever been theory crafted by the Mensa members known as build makers. This, unfortunately, due to PoE 2 not letting you respec your ascendancies, can lead to a pretty awful league start if the theory part of your build should have stayed a theory. But if you do decide to go one of these builds and get filtered out, here are some simple steps you should take. Number 1, complain about it to the creator. Regardless of how many warnings they made about starting this character, it's obviously their fault for being wrong. Number 2, make a post or video telling everybody that this build maker is not actually a human, but a dog in disguise who thrives off the suffering of others. And number 3, tell others that the game is trash because the build with 1k effective hit pool isn't viable when everyone knows glass cannon is a viable strategy. Every build on max roll that I've tried has worked pretty well, but because I pride myself in being different without the use of Starbucks and the vocabulary of a valley girl, I will absolutely be trying Huntress. If you are not as bold as I am, then take your Howas and your textured fringe and get in line with the rest of them. When
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
When the campaign first came out, it was cool and exciting. Many people took in the realms of 30 to 50 hours just to complete it. But in PoE fashion, we have not only reduced that time, we have managed to do so by such stupid amounts that we are beginning to rival times of those in PoE 1, which has been so figured out that data miners are now slower to get information than the egghead farmers. And from personal experience, it's not super difficult to achieve lower times. My first playthrough took me around 25 hours with a build that had more waiting than actually using skills. My second playthrough, when the magic had worn off and I had experienced the temple for the 4th time in a row, I had cut that time down to 10 hours to reach maps. If I continue this trend, I will soon be completing the campaign in under a minute. But as to not embarrass the speedrunners who have not achieved my level of enlightenment, I will not post any of my recorded times. Having just a bit of campaign knowledge slices out entire portions of your campaign playthrough, so if you want to reach maps before your favorite streamer has acquired their ingenuity and temporalis, then a practice run or watching other streamers can be extremely helpful. And unfortunately, as it goes for most PoE leagues, the first ones to enter maps have a massive advantage on the economy, as they farm mediocre items that trickle down to the Act 5 piranhas biting at their ankles.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang.
Knowing how to craft good items can be extremely helpful. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. Just slam and pray. Optimizing the hell out of anything they do is a staple of the PoE community. Within days, there have been post after post of quests that you can skip which give terrible rewards. Considering that most of these unrewarding quests lead you to search through zones more comparable to CBT than playing a video game, I recommend that if you want the most bang for your buck out of your time, that you go to any of these posts and skip anything that does not give permanent character upgrades. If you believe that this is optimizing the fun out of the game, then you can hop off this battle bus and go enjoy finishing one zone per hour. But as someone who does not believe that cardio should be a part of a gamer's diet, I will continue to frolic in my mud paths for my Chaos Res upgrades, and pray that I can defeat Donkey Kong before Diddy Kong comes for me first. But knowing him, he'll want it the other way around. Along with this, making sure that you are always checking your vendors for useful items, since crafting in this game would be illegal in many countries around the world. They reset on level ups, and more often than not, getting at least 2 good stats on an item is better than having a sword where you're only hitting with the pommel. Lastly, because many of us still have not naturally found a 6-link, you can in a pinch use a Vol Orb on your main skill to have a chance for it to gain another support slot. This will be extremely useful, especially when you're in the campaign and realize that getting your 4th support gem is only useful when your mana flask isn't already begging for mercy.
Do you understand why I had to punish you earlier?
Get back, Zelda!
I was originally going to call this last part making money, but in my little experience with endgame mapping in PoE 2, you have to be actively throwing your divines into an open furnace to not make money playing this game. Once you make it to maps, do your traditional juicing antics, slap some incredibly balanced rarity gear on, and go to town. I hope that this video was entertaining and at least slightly educational. But even if you hated it, I would rather you show negative emotion than no emotion at all. If you want a successful league start, then you, unfortunately, will need to put some effort in. Path of Exile is a franchise where your knowledge can balance out many problems that come your way, and in some cases can even make up for having less time to play than others. So that's it here. If you made it this far, I truly appreciate you. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and angry comment calling me a Minecraft movie lover.
The Nether.
If you would like to see more content between me making videos and doing my promos for Platinum Polar, then you can come over to my Twitch streams. I stream a few times a week, usually on Saturdays and some random weekday, link in the description. Thank you for watching. Stay sane, stay hydrated, and stay safe, Exiles.